One summer moment can change a child's life. Through Toys for Tots Give and Go initiative, your support provides books, games, toys, and outdoor adventures that spark curiosity, creativity, and a love of nature. Whether it's fishing, learning a new sport, reading under a tree, or playing with friends, these moments build confidence and lifelong memories. For too many children, those moments never come. You can help change that this summer. Visit toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots, delivering hope beyond the holidays.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi!
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
The other night, we were at an event, and I found this is very interesting. We were at an event involving child trafficking. And I was talking to a woman, very, very nice, very intelligent. And we were just chatting. And I'm still thinking about this. I made this statement without any exceptions, as I am wont to do. I speak very forcefully regarding things that I believe in. And I said, you know, it's very interesting. I said, when will people realize that they should not be putting pictures of their family members on social media? And this woman looked at me like, said, what? Yes, I said, no pictures. Well, what age? I said, never. And I said, well, what do you mean? I said, let me see if I can explain this. Why do you want to put pictures of your, and this is where the look came. Why do you want to have pictures of your child on social media? Why? And they said, the child can't consent. And it's because I realized because people don't even think about it. You mentioned this one time, and you haven't talked about this in a while, but there were people who actually would say, go get this child. I know where the child lives. I know everything about the child. In fact, if you do any amount of due diligence, you could find out the child's nickname, the new pet, the fact that the brother lost his front teeth. So if you were to lure, groom, you know about things. Even family members who put the names of their graduating students, their children, on the front lawn. You know, Tabitha, Michaela, congratulations. Oh, you got a girl there, 17 or 18. And they look at me like I'm sick. I'm thinking, no, you're a fool. You don't know how dangerous this is.
Listen, the public has been fooled and brainwashed. That's what I'm going to say, because remember, it started with MySpace. Then we went into Facebook, connect with family and friends and fellow universities and all that stuff. It started out very cute, right? It was a novelty. Then comes along in 2008 or so the iPhone. Everybody, every kid wanted an iPhone for a gift. The grandparents were buying them. The parents were buying them. We didn't think twice. I say we collectively, America, okay? We didn't know, okay? We've been lured into this. We've been fooled into this. But here's the thing. Now we know. Now we have 30 years later, because everything started in about 1996, we have studies. We have, teachers coming out. We have mental health professionals and doctors and psychologists and psychiatrists. We have all of this information, yet it's getting worse. That's the part, Lionel, I do not understand. I do not understand. And the thing about the pictures is so horrible, because right now with AI, virtually, and I got 3 reports today, and these happen to be men, and actually they happen to have decent jobs, and they are creating AI, this child sexual abuse material, CSAM, we call it, right? We don't say kiddie porn anymore, everybody. That's over with. It's much more descriptive to say child sexual abuse material, okay? So these 3 men, again, seemingly, kind of normal and good jobs, were creating this content and using AI and taking kids' pictures off the internet. So, we've given it away. Mm-hmm. So it's time. It's overdue to take it back. Do not put pictures of children online. You don't know those. Once kids will say to me even, I deleted it. And I'm like, no, once it's there, it is never gone. It's in the cloud. Somebody has taken it. People have to wake up to this. This is And I also think because it has become so normalized, all this sexual stuff now, and sites like OnlyFans, just everybody's become habituated. People who wouldn't even try this stuff, this is what I think, are now trying it. Again, because there's no consequences, pretty much. There's no accountability, which is why in New York State, not to be a felony, to rape a 15-year-old girl, who creates these laws? So that the only way you can have accountability is the public. Groups like Lynn's Warriors, we push back. We don't let them get away with it. We educate the public, but we can't do it alone. We need everybody to help us. You don't want it to be your daughter or son. We don't even talk about the boys and men in sex trafficking because it's like that's kind of a no-no. It's like they're embarrassed. They don't come forward. That's a real uptick in all of that. So society as a whole, look at the way we're treating our people. Who thought you could buy and sell human beings? We have more slavery today in the United States than any other time in history, and it's getting worse. And people just don't want to recognize it. I didn't answer your question before. What we have also is this Romeo effect. So a lot of girls and young women and women also are, getting fooled by a boyfriend, seeking love, seeking attention, and they think they found the perfect mate because they tell me this. It's the same story over and over again, and it could be good for a month or so, and then it's always the same thing. If you love me, you'll just do this once. My friend likes you. Will you just do this? I'm a little short on the car payment, a little short on the rent, and because this girl or woman thinks she's in love, she does it, and she knows it's wrong, but she does it, okay? And then they get sucked into this abuse and trafficking, and that is a very common thing. And we have boys as young as 14 doing this to girls their own age because they're learning everything on the internet. They're seeing everything, and it's not even the kids' fault because we have the algorithms. We know from whistleblowers, we know from the studies that have come out, the internal memos from these big tech companies, and all of them. We talk about Meta a lot. Lionel, it is every one of them. They are feeding our kids the algorithms for pornography, for all of this. So the kids are seeing all this, right? And that's where we have to draw the line, and we have to say enough. And if that means a piece of legislation, we are not taking away anybody's freedoms because people fight me on this all the time, First Amendment rights. Where are the rights for children? That's what I want to know. So if it takes a piece of legislation like the Kids Online Safety Act, Senate version 1748, that's what we have to do. And that's what our president has to work on. And that's what we should be talking about, not all these other issues. I'm sorry, I know people like sports, the Knicks and things like that. But my goodness, that we have to keep talking about this and people are denying it or say that doesn't happen or Lynn, you're lying. Absolutely not. So we invite everybody to join us. You can write to us at The Warriors, get some information, learn about this, talk to your kids. Find out what's going on in their schools. Ask their teachers, what are you teaching with AI? What are the resources you're using? People have to wake up. We're into prevention now, intervention, okay? So educate yourself. It's really educate yourself and talk to your kids about trafficking. It is here. You can't, people will say, I don't want to open up a can of worms. They'll start looking at pornography. I'm like, they're looking at it already because it's on their devices.
Exactly. In fact, they don't call it pornography.
Share survivor stories and advocacy efforts because get involved in initiatives. Every community has something going on, and we'll be happy. Write to me, lynn@lynswarriors.org. I will direct you what's happening in your neighborhood where you can get involved. It ultimately, Lionel, comes down to one question. How serious are we in America about protecting our children? Survivors have spoken. Families have spoken. Advocates have spoken. The Senate has acted now on this Assembly Bill 9214. We're hoping it does get passed. I think it will. Everybody's talking about it because we believe every child deserves protection, dignity, and the opportunity to grow up free from exploitation. Kids are not commodities. They're not products. Children are not for sale.